This Red Wings team has changed overnight. We're getting into it, and we're getting into it deep.
It puts everybody on notice, but there are some significant upgrades, and you should be significantly excited in the Wing-Wheeled Nation right now. And these are guys that can be on your team when you win. Opportunity, and you're gonna have to earn it. It takes a long time, patience and resilience, folks.
You want it, you go take it. You don't, you're gone. There's a bunch of different things that I want to discuss about this. There's a lot of offshoots to it. There's a lot of layers to it. This Red Wings team has changed overnight. Overnight, this Red Wings team has changed. And we're getting into it, and we're getting into it deep, D-Mac, because A, obviously, it's your lane, but B, 1919.
1919, hashtag wiser plan. What else do you want? I think everything we talked about with Michael Gentry. Our Red Wing insider during the week coming up to free agency and stuff is Steve Yzerman. He not only got to the floor of the salary cap, he surpassed it, but he put players, hockey players in place and didn't rupture the salary cap. I look at you and I ask you, how do you do as far as contract-wise? And you're like, yeah, they're all good, legit contracts. And it started with the biggest one, obviously, Andrew Kopp. But to get David Perron, you know, David Perron, for lack of a better term, is a Tammy Chin's going to love him because he's a Brad Marchand light. But I look at how these different guys coming in immediately are going to affect the locker room. Not only leadership-wise, Perron brings a Stanley Cup from St. Louis. Obviously played a lot of years in this league, very well respected. Then you got a guy like Ben Sherratt. You know, Ben Sherratt not only is, you know, one of these stalwart, stay-at-home, physical guys. So he's going to keep the flies off, as we sort of speak. But he's got some offensive upside, too. You look at Oli Mata. You know, you solidify, talk about stay-at-home guy, but this is a former first-rounder. You know, you look at Kubalik, and I asked you, you know, because that was one of the later signings, but to get a Kubalik as a top six forward or a guy that could play up and down your lineup, and you know, those are huge, just right off the rip, just huge for this team. And what does it do, Neil? It puts everybody on notice. It puts all your guys that are expecting to get signed, whether it's your captain,
and that's what I love about it.
Whether it's your captain and Dylan Larkin, or maybe your favorite player in Tyler Bertuzzi, guys that need to be signed. Well, Steve Yzerman's going, go out and earn it. Pretty much a lot of the ways. But the guys that he's added are locker room guys, are guys that take some of the pressure because they've played in high stress situations that a lot of these guys in this lineup haven't played in. So right now, if you look at the end of the year roster versus what the roster or the lineup could be on opening night, it's not night and day, but there are some significant upgrades. And you should be significantly excited in the Wing-Wheeled Nation right now. So, I mean, it like, what else do you want? I think the two biggest movers yesterday were in the Eastern Conference in Carolina and in Detroit. You look at what Columbus did. And Johnny Gaudreau, sort of shocking the NHL because you didn't hear him going there. And you brought up a great point as why I'm preaching culture so much. And about having an atmosphere and wanting to play, and why do I, you know, preach as being all the rest of my former teammates are doing the due diligence in drafting these guys and signing these guys and watching hockey games, and I want to get the culture right. Why? Because I think the signing of Johnny Gaudreau has more to do with the culture in Columbus, the fan base, the city. You know, I was listening to the NHL Network and interviews, and he's good friends with Cam Atkinson, who got traded from there to Philly, but just the guys love playing there. So that's big, you know, when it comes to some of these top free agents. So not only does a team, then now that makes that Columbus team better, does it make them a Stanley Cup competitor right now? I don't think so, but what does it do?
Takes them to the next level.
It gets them to the next level. So what I'm saying now is Detroit could be that next Columbus place for next year's big free agent because of what they're building. So that's what it is. So that's everything's playing out the way that I looked at my playbook that I was raised with these guys with, and it looked like this is what Stevie would do from his track record, and he did exactly what it is. And you know what, Neil? I think the old adage about this not being a place where guys want to come to play, I think a few veteran guys and a couple young guys in this free agency, and the young guy I mean in Copp, it's put his future in the Detroit Red Wings, and these are guys that can be on your team when you win.
And that's
These
the
are
setup
winners.
for it. Yeah, and that's the setup for it. We do have Spencer Raxter back in the fold. Was under the weather yesterday. How you feeling, big man?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good.
We're straight?
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Sniffles?
Ready to go. Sniffles, yeah. Throat's a little sore, but
All right, my guy.
Ready to go.
Great to have you back, brother.
Appreciate it.
Chris held it down.
Chris held it down. I saw
He held
that,
it down. But you bring that little something extra to the table. I'm not going to lie.
I do
You
what I can, you know.
I know you do. And you can get involved in a YouTube chat that, like I said, we're going hockey heavy today. Sorry about it. I mean, we just are, because for the first time in, 8 years, this hockey team's relevant. And it's relevant in July. Think about that. And this will be kind of a prevailing thing where I keep going back to because of the Johnny Gaudreau thing. I think, and I've said this before, I think we don't realize how far it had fallen here. I honest to God, I don't think we have. Like we do when we go, or we do when we look at the standings, but I don't think we realize how far it had fallen here.
Well, it had fallen as far as the expectations and on the ice. Once Stevie was hired 3 years ago, and I told you I had the same feeling as when I scored that overtime goal March 26, 97. That feeling of, it's going to be all right. Don't know what it means. It's going to be all right. It just takes time because you got to get so...
Because
you
it's
don't-
hockey.
You didn't realize how ugly, and I call it the iceberg effect, but the draft capital, the salary cap, all this stuff. Now he's getting in front of it, and he's got it where he wants. And how do I know that? Because he signed guys to deals that he wanted. These are team-friendly deals, right? So it's exciting. I can't say it enough. I mean, I say it at all these season ticket events. Get your tickets now. You want to watch this team. This is the time to grow. Now, looking at the lineup and looking at the roster and stuff like this, this should be a team that is in it till playoff time.
I want to let everybody inside here for a minute with something that D-Mac has done. I see it. I saw him doing it before the show. He's got his little piece of paper. He's got a pen. He's handwriting out lines and in which way it could go and everything like that. He's so excited, everybody. I mean, he's just
excited,
so fired
but
up.
I can't. I got so many scratches out because there's so many guys that have opportunity. Right? Opportunity. And you're going to have to earn it. And you know what I just thought when you brought people bringing back, it looks like we got half the St. Louis Blues roster. No, we're just getting karma straight from the Adam Oates, Bernie Federko deal way back when. It takes a long time. See, that's all it is. Now we're getting even. That's all it is. Okay? St. Louis, we're almost there. Right? See? Just time. Patience and resilience, folks. But everything, here's the thing, Neil. As the fan, as the Red Wing fan, has Steve Yzerman not done everything that he's told you he's going to do?
Absolutely, he has. But you know what I like the most about that? Don't think we forgot, St. Louis Blues. Don't think I forgot when we gave you Adam Oates. Don't think we forgot about it. We're coming for you. We've settled the score. Steve Yzerman has a long memory. And he's attacking the St. Louis Blues organization. And we will get penance for Adam Oates. We're doing it now. We've done it this offseason. It took 40 years, 35 years. But we got you, St. Louis Blues. Ha ha! We got you.
I love it. I love it. And now it's the contracts. Now it's the conversation that we had the other day, Neil, about, what do you pay Tyler Bertuzzi? What do you pay? Do they slot it in? Because here's the one thing too that you have to think about is the guys that are fighting it. The guys who are, you mentioned it before. Where does this put Roenick? Where does this put Zadina? Right? This puts them in the put up or shut up category.
And that's it.
For
And
everybody. There's no more grace period.
there's no more little kid stuff.
No more
there's
little
there's no
kids.
more, well, give them another year of seasoning. No, there is no more of that. There are professional players on this roster right now. You're either good enough or you're not good enough. And that's it. Like that's all there is to it. It's not about feeling good. It's not about somebody getting a fair opportunity. It's none of that. You want it, you go take it. You don't, you're gone. Like that's the way professional sports work. That's why I love professional sports. You know, as I've always said, D-Mac, there will come a time in this business where it passes me by and it's over. And guess what? I won't be good enough. That day's not today.
Remember that
That day's not today, but that day will come.
Absolutely. Remember that question we had, who's getting there quicker? Which one of these three teams? I think after this free agency period, I think both the Pistons and the Red Wings had a great draft, but Steve Yzerman just put the pedal down, dropped the Hemi, and just said, "Hey guys, we're coming."
Yep.
Hey, you know what? He looked down to East Lansing there, Spence, and said, "What Tuck doing?
Yeah.
Tuck coming? Oh, 1919. Here we go."
Yep. Kalamsaw says we've already tortured the Blues, never beat us, and made it beyond round 2. No, but I still want more pounds of flesh for the Adam Oates thing. God, I was crushed as a little kid. That was my first introduction to the business world of sports, and I was crushed.
But I like to say, we were ahead of the curve because we had to send Adam Oates to get Brett Hull where we needed him so he could win the Cup in 2002 when he came here. He was ready.
Long game.
When it scored. That's all it is.
Yeah, but, I lost innocence that day.
You did?
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well,
I was introduced to the cold, hard world.
Because that's the first time you felt pillaged.
Absolutely.
You felt pillaged.
That was my first experience with the realities of the world and the business world.
Again, competency, right? Competency. And then who aren't we talking about right now? I put on this list, and the two guys that I got are Berggren and Edvidson on my list here, but you're not even talking about Wallander and Soderblom, or you're not even talking about all the rest of these kids that are still coming, pushing the envelope. You know what I'm saying? It just, the machine doesn't stop, and I think that's what it is. And look at the difference now. I mean, I saw somebody on Twitter go, "Oh, it looks like a few of these signings were for Grand Rapids." Yeah, because of, Grand Rapids is now the feeder system. The importance is development. It's not winning down there. Ben Simon, that's why Ben Simon, the coach down there, has done a great job, but everybody's on the same page. Because now, look at the difference. And this, I hate to be a bummer, but look at your Red Wings farm system and then look at your Tigers farm system. There's polar opposites.
That's facts.
So if we're talking hockey today, you, as part of the wing wheel, I mean, you couldn't be happier. It's just sit back, enjoy the journey.
They're relevant.
Hashtag wise. I can't tell you hashtag.
D-Mac.
It's wiser vision now. I mean, it's like
they're relevant. They're relevant to the sports fabric of Detroit today. They're relevant. They should dominate. They should dominate.
Their goaltending, which they got two guys that are legitimate, could vie to be number ones, that are going to push each other competition-wise and stuff like this, where you don't have to worry about, the hot guy is going to go, right? And there's some similarity, with them. So there's so many positives.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
many positives.